Welcome to this explainer. You know it's wild, but a massive percentage of adults are secretly dreaming of a completely different career path. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Yancha Crystal Report to demystify how your unique personality and underlying behaviors can perfectly map out your ideal career path. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of choices out there, or wondered why some people just effortlessly click with their jobs while others really struggle, you are absolutely in the right place. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with the Career Choice Challenge, then cover personality and Holland's theory, followed by Sugata's RSI profile. After that, we'll break down the RAPID framework, decode Sugata's specific rapid traits, and wrap it all up with finding the right path. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Career Choice Challenge. Let's start by being real about the universal anxiety and stress surrounding what we actually want to do with our lives. It's literally one of the biggest questions facing young adults today. Too often, people just force a career choice out of a temporary fascination, like deciding to be a marine biologist just because you watched a cool documentary, or simply because everyone else is heading in that direction. They choose paths without recognizing their own inherent uniqueness. And this misalignment, it's a massive source of stress. It is the ultimate square peg in a round hole dilemma. The old beaten-down approach of just grabbing the fastest path to any job is severely flawed. It almost inevitably leads straight to a life of underachievement. Contrast that with the modern Yancha approach. Here, the goal isn't just basic employment. It's about choosing a career path that actually provides a meaningful life and helps you achieve your absolute full potential. It's all about perfectly matching your intrinsic capabilities with the right marketplace opportunities.
Moving on to Section 2, Personality and Holland's theory.
To really understand our intrinsic capabilities, we have to turn to a foundational psychological concept dating back to the 1950s. Psychologist John Holland completely revolutionized career counseling with a very simple but profound belief. The choice of a vocation is an expression of personality. Holland recognized that what you genuinely love doing and what you are highly proficient at are deeply connected to who you fundamentally are. We're not just talking about skills you can learn, we're talking about the innate orientations you already possess. This brilliantly illustrates how Holland categorized the working world. He created the RISC model, basically mapping everyone into 6 occupational categories. You have your realistic doers, investigative thinkers, artistic creators, social helpers, enterprising persuaders, and conventional organizers. Most of us possess a mix of all of these, but usually it's a combination of your top 2 or 3 traits that creates your unique Holland code to guide your career path. Kind of makes you wonder what your specific combination might be, right?
Let's look at Section 3, Sugata's RSI profile.
Let's bring this to life by applying it directly to a real-world case study, Sugata Nandi. Looking at this detailed breakdown from his Yancha Crystal Report, Sugata's dominant traits are clearly mapped out. His primary fitment is realistic, his secondary is social, and his tertiary is investigative. So his unique interest code is identified as RSI. This specific combination creates a truly fascinating, multi-layered professional profile. Let's break down exactly what each of these means for him. First up, scoring highly as realistic means Sugata is a practical doer. People with this trait absolutely love working with their hands, tools, machines, or just the physical world in general. They prefer tangible, concrete problem solving rather than getting bogged down in purely abstract ideas or spending all day dealing with data and people. They are independent, physically coordinated, and very much grounded in reality. But here is where it gets super interesting. His second trait, social, adds a completely different layer. It shows that he is also a supportive helper. This means he uses empathy, communication, and sensitivity to generate positive energy for a good cause. While his primary trait loves tools and the physical world, his secondary trait proves he deeply cares about human concerns, helping others, and working within supportive environments. Finally, his investigative side comes into play. This reveals he is an analytical thinker who thrives on complex logic and research. Investigative individuals are scholarly, unconventional problem solvers who love to observe and analyze the real world to figure out how things work. So, putting it all together, we have a practical doer who genuinely wants to help people using deep analytical thinking.
Which brings us to Section 4, the RAPID framework explained.
Now, personality and interests are amazing, but they're only half the equation. To get the full picture, we also need to understand how Sugata actually behaves, how he utilizes his resources, and how he makes choices under pressure. That is where the proprietary Yancha Rapid framework comes in. It looks at 4 distinct behavioral pillars that must interact perfectly for young adults to reach their full potential. These pillars are resources, which are your fundamental elements like health and time; attitude, the absolute prerequisite for success; perspectives, how you analyze and interpret situations; and decision-making, how you actually go about making choices.
This core concept matrix beautifully illustrates how attitude acts as the ultimate foundation. Seriously, if your attitude isn't positive, those higher order skills become almost immaterial. It shows exactly how perspectives and decision-making rely heavily on that positive baseline, and how the ultimate utilization of your resources, whether that's optimal, underused, or overused, dictates your actual real-world success. Let's move to Section 5, Decoding Sagada's Rapid Traits.
So how does Sagada specifically measure up? Let's layer his rapid data right on top of his personality. We see some incredibly strong indicators here. He possesses a solidly positive attitude, which is basically the most essential weapon for overcoming setbacks. His perspectives are self-driven, meaning he dives deep within to interpret things rather than just following the crowd. His decision-making is calculated. He logically weighs multiple aspects before making a choice. Interestingly, though, his resource utilization falls into overusage. This means he tends to constantly stretch his abilities to deliver high performance. It makes him highly productive, sure, but it also highlights a fascinating watch-out. He must be really mindful not to burn out.
Finally, Section 6, Finding the Right Path. We now have a complete 360-degree view of Sagada. We know what he likes, and we know how he behaves. So what happens when we combine his realistic, social, and investigative personality with his calculated, positive, and self-driven behavior? The optimal matches that emerge, roles like scientist, defense professional, firefighter, agriculturalist, or researcher, make perfect sense. They completely align with a practical doer who deeply wants to help society and protect people through rigorous, calculated analysis and problem-solving. Crucially, the Yancha framework reminds us of this one vital point. These insights describe tendencies, not limits. A personality report is absolutely not meant to put you in a restrictive box. Rather, it gives you a highly accurate foundational map. As Sagada steps into these roles, his skills and behaviors will continuously evolve with experience, education, and the right support. The science of career selection is honestly profound when you look beyond the surface. By understanding both the what of our interests and the how of our behaviors, we unlock paths where we don't just survive, but truly thrive. So are you ready to stop following the crowd, do the work to understand your own unique matrix of traits, and start mapping out your true potential? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.